government works to emerge from the COVID-19 experience, the main focus of this ministry is stimulating growth within the agricultural sector. Through the Ministry of Finance, $1 billion was allotted to provide support for farmers and fisherfolk in order to stimulate recovery and growth for the sector.
This $1 billion allocation, Mr. Speaker, will support the provision of equipment and machinery, infrastructures, assistance to the livestock subsector, assistance to the fisheries industry. We have support for climate-smart production and practices and technologies, incentives for production to include purchase of excess produce from farmers.
Infrastructure works have commenced on systems with the capacity to supply water to the farm gate in the southern region of the island. This is being done through the irrigation development projects. At the end of these projects, it is expected that approximately 7,000 hectares of arable land will be serviced with new irrigation and will be under sustainable production.
The ministry has initiated the development of arable lands in St. Catherine and Clarendon under the proposed Southern Plains Agricultural Development, SPAD project. 3 parcels totaling 795 hectares have been selected for this project, and the project is to be funded through a grant of approximately 17.5 million British pounds from the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Fund, administered by the Caribbean Development Bank.
Groundbreaking for the Southern Plains project is scheduled for mid-July.
Under the $194 million Drought Adaptation and Mitigation Program for 2021 being implemented by RADA, MICAF will be supporting interventions to farmers and farmers groups who are experiencing threats or damage to crops as a result of drought conditions through the trucking of approximately 11.7 million gallons of irrigation water over a 3-month period. Purchase and distribution of 2,000 quarter-acre drip irrigation kits for small farmers. The purchase and distribution of water tanks. As we observe the International Year of Plant Health in 2020, $36 million has been allocated to the prevention and management of the tropical race 4 disease as we seek to protect and expand our banana industry. $105 million has been allocated to continue management activities for the frosty pod rot disease affecting cocoa as we seek to divest the sector.
The former Fisheries Division is now being transitioned into the modernized National Fisheries Authority. The governance mechanisms for the authority are now in place, with the establishment of a Board of Management and a National Advisory Council, as well as the formalization of an appeals tribunal.
This authority also is implementing a national online licensing and registration system aimed at making interactions with all fishers, fish farmers, and other stakeholders more efficient. In accordance with climate resilient actions, the National Fisheries Authority is now implementing the Promoting Community-Based Climate Resilience in the Fisheries Sector project, valued at some $4.8 million United States dollars. This is a 5-year project and is expected to end in March of 2023. The plan of action as recommended by the industry stakeholders includes greater digitization of the sector, improved systems for productivity and innovation, logistics, and supply chains. The ministry has therefore completed a manufacturing growth strategy, and the goal of this strategy is to achieve $81 billion per annum in manufacturing output by 2025, which translates to an approximate annual average growth rate of 3% over the 5-year period. Under the US $4.4 million Government of Jamaica Agricultural Competitiveness Program Bridging Project, we have started the first phase of establishment of a 1,200-acre mango orchard on the plains of Clarendon for export. This is part of the process for the encouragement of major investments in the development of orchards, such as avocado, ackee, coconuts, as well as June plum, soursop, pomegranate, and pineapples as raw material for processing. As I said to you earlier, raw material for processing into purees and concentrates to replace the export.
The ministry is also targeting for approval this year the National Investment Policy.
This aims to provide the framework to align the efforts of all the entities involved in the attraction and facilitation of investments from both local and international sources. And our target will be to gain Cabinet's approval of the National Investment Policy as a green paper.
According to Minister Shaw, the ministry has advanced discussions with 2 internet service providers to secure zero-rated access to both the Jamaica Trade Information Portal and the Jamaica Single Window for Trade websites, along with other trade-related government sites. This means that users will not require data to access these sites.
This fiscal year, the Exim Bank, with support of the Ministry of Finance, hopes to significantly increase its support to this important sector by disbursing at least $8.1 billion in loans. This is particularly in the context of the challenges being faced by the MSMEs because of the COVID-19 pandemic. High on the consumer protection agenda for this fiscal year is the development and promulgation of the National Consumer Affairs Policy. The objectives are maximize consumer welfare through empowerment and protection delivered by a coordinated national consumer affairs strategy, and strengthen consumer affairs at the member state level in readiness for alignment to the regional consumer strategy and to enable Jamaica's compliance with international consumer protection policies.
These are just some of the plans being put in place by the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries to help enhance the sectors.